What's up, guys? Welcome to Amazon Seller Insights Hot Seat, and we have Regina Peterburgsky with us all the way from Australia, with a fantastic background there. Maybe we'll ask her at the end where she actually is, but she's definitely in Australia. I'm really excited to have you on today, Regina. And the goal of this hot seat is to focus on one specific strategy. We'll cover it for a few minutes, and really just to help educate and inspire our listeners. And guys, if you don't know who Regina is, she is really well known in Australia. She's one of the first, kind of e-commerce Amazon sellers in Australia. She's got a podcast as well, Woman of Amazon, and she's also a coach as well. So she's got a few clients that she helps with Amazon, and she sells on both Amazon.com, Australia, and Europe. So, one person with a lot of experience, and she's been around for some time. So welcome, Regina, and I'm excited to jump in and dive into this topic.
Terrific. Thank you so much, John. It's an absolute pleasure to be here and join you. So yes, my podcast is Women on Amazon, and there's the website as well, womenonamazon.com. And yeah, I've been selling on Amazon for almost exactly 5 years since I launched my first product. So I'm one of the oldies. I sell in the US, Europe, and it was in fact Australia's first third-party seller before they launched their platform here in Australia. So I'd say I've been around the block a little bit, yes.
Absolutely. But always with a smile on your face, which I love about you for sure. So Regina, let's unpack a specific pain point, which for people who are selling on Amazon, it's really around my launch strategy. So many people have put in so much effort into building a product. They launch on Amazon, they don't follow the right steps, and after a month they've fallen flat, and then after 2 months you've given the product away to try and get rid of it, and actually, if they'd done things right, that might have been a winning product, and they just didn't follow the right kind of strategy and process. So if you can, in these minutes, unpack your thinking around launch, what are some of the key questions you ask yourself that you need answers on? And then we can move into what's your process and tactics, and just really unpack that from your experience.
Sure. Okay, look, in my experience, most people who do whatever training that they do, if any, get a product, they do their product research, they do, oh, what's happened to my light? I've gone yellow. Sorry, I'm looking jaundiced here. Goodness me, sorry. Anyway, just pretend I'm not jaundiced. So they put their product up on Amazon, they might do a little bit of PPC, and they assume that that's actually what is a launch. Whereas if they were opening a retail store or opening an online store, they would actually do something to do what's called a proper launch, to let people know that they actually exist. You can stick your product up on Amazon, no matter how great your listing is. You'd be very, very lucky if that's all you did, you were actually able to have a successful business, right? So, oh, here we go, I'm back to normal color. So the thinking is you need to let Amazon know that your product exists. Now, if you're a brand new product, launch, Amazon actually very kindly, because they don't know you, actually does give us somewhere between 6 to 9 weeks, some maybe 12 weeks of a grace period where they're trying to figure out what your product is. So you actually get a little bit of Amazon love, even if you don't do anything. However, you really do want to take advantage of that grace period and throw everything you can to let Amazon know, and the Amazon algorithm, the A9 algorithm, know that your product actually exists. So how do you do that? Well, firstly, you want to make sure that your listing is tip-top shape. So that includes your images are amazing and attractive, that your main image stands out in search, against your competitors. If everybody else's product is showing landscape, you might want to do yours vertical. What is it that's going to stop that scroll if somebody's looking? And secondly, you want to make sure.
Just to jump in on that, I think at a high level, the point of that is conversion rate, right? Which is You want people, the A9 algorithm is going to be looking for how much traffic you're getting to listing, and most importantly, what is that conversion
What
percentage?
your conversion rate is, yeah. So that you want to make sure that your written listing is keyword rich, and also reads well. Again, from both a conversion and a discoverability point of view, you want to make sure that your list, that the keywords that you've got are actually indexed by Amazon. In that, that they're actually, I've actually just had an issue myself where I had a product that was out of stock for a long time, and it's come back into stock, but Amazon couldn't see it, and I checked and it wasn't actually indexed at all. And it had to do with in the time that the product has been out of stock, Amazon has played around with categories. So the actual category that it was previously in no longer exists, so it wasn't showing, and it took me a little while to figure it out. So you need to make sure that your keywords are actually indexed on Amazon. And then what you want to do, obviously, is create a situation where Amazon sees that your product is actually being bought by customers for those keywords that you want to rank.
Yeah, and one way to obviously get visibility is through PPC. But let's say we've done all of those things right. What is that X factor that can really help with the launch period, during that honeymoon period of whatever, and specifically your experience around off of Amazon traffic and what you would potentially do on that side?
Yeah, look, and historically that has changed. I mean, when I first started 5 years ago, there was launch services where you'd basically, pay somebody $500, give them a whole lot of 99% off discount codes, and away you go, Bob's your uncle. And of course, Amazon shut that shit down. So we can't do that anymore. And so over the years that has changed. So the best way right now in 2020 is a rebate strategy. So you really want people to pay full price for your product. I mean, ideally, that's what we all want. But in order to get that ranking boost is to create a strategy where you have people pay full price and then you then send them their money back. So in effect, they're getting it for free. However, from Amazon's point of view, Amazon sees that it's a full price buy. So you get your ranking juice. But you want them to buy using a specific keyword at full price. And then at the back end, you either send them a gift card or a PayPal to that customer to rebate them for their product purchase. So that's the strategy that's currently working for ranking juice.
Got it. Yeah, because the algorithm really just sees the full purchase, and the refund is happening offline outside of Amazon.
Correct.
But can you unpack that a little bit in terms of how do you one, get your product in front of customers, and how do you communicate this rebate style offer?
Okay.
And importantly, how do you ensure that from whatever system or channel they're coming from, that they're landing on the Amazon page with the keyword that you've targeted in place? So maybe just get a little bit more deep on that, because I think people will be interested in how that works.
Sure. So there's a couple of different ways you can do this. First and foremost, you can actually pay somebody to do that for you. So there are services around where they will charge anywhere from $5 to $15 per unit, plus of course the cost of the unit in order to do that for you. So you can do it totally hands off. But what that means is you don't actually have control. You don't know who those customers are. You can't go back to them later. But there are ways to do that. I personally like to have a little bit more control, target customers, and also want the ability to reach out to them later for a review and to retarget. So I use a Facebook Messenger chatbot strategy. And how that looks is I put up a Facebook ad that basically says either product tester or get this product at a discount, depending on whether I want to do a full discount, because you can of course use the same strategy at less than 100% discount. You can use it as an 80% or a half price strategy. It really depends on how attractive your product is and how much people want it, whether they'll do it for a half price or if they need a full price rebate. So I take them from a Facebook ad and then engage with them on Facebook Messenger, and that's all automized via a pre-built chatbot flow. Okay, so if my product is not ranking at all, in order to make them buy from a keyword, I will use a super URL type link. So it's already embedded, and I ask them to click on a particular link to take them to my product. Once the product is then showing in the first 3 pages on a mobile search for that keyword, I switch it up and I use a search find by organic strategy. In other words, I give them specific instructions that say, number 1, go to Amazon. Number 2, search for this keyword. Number 3, look for my product. Here's a photo of my product, how it will look. On number 4, put it in your cart. Buy. Number 6, send us your order number and your PayPal address, and we will send you your rebate. So
that's really interesting. That's really interesting because so for anybody listening, a super URL is potentially a way of fooling the A9 algorithm into thinking, hey, this is an organic search for whatever keyword, right? And there's a lot of rumors or feedback that the A9 algorithm is smart to that and doesn't rank you as well.
There is a lot of rumors, but it actually still works.
Yeah.
Okay. So they don't want us to know. It's one of those things that they don't want us to know, but it actually does still work. And my advice is, it's very useful to get your product into that first 3 pages, because in all honesty, it doesn't matter how great your product is. You're giving it away for free. Nobody is going to look through 25 pages to find you, right?
Gotcha. So why the switch after you're onto those first 3 pages, moving it to an organic step-by-step search? Why do you do that switch? I'm just interested.
Well, do that switch because it is still more effective than super URL. Super URLs work. However, you really want it to be as natural as possible from Amazon's point of view.
Gotcha. And I bet you there's a steep drop in the conversion rate of those actual people getting into search and find it. People have to just click on one link.
There is. I mean, there's always, whenever there's friction, you lose people. However, if somebody is prepared to do that, it is much stronger from an algorithm point of view. And also, those people are also more likely to leave you feedback reviews later on because they've gone through, a little bit more of an effort to get your product. Now, again, if you're selling, barbecue tongs or something that you think is not as an attractive type of product, you may want to stay with the URL. However, you do get a lot more ranking juice for your buck if you can take people through an organic search find buy process.
Excellent. And then just 2 other quick questions, just in terms of testing your launch process. 1, have you ever tried just pushing traffic from your messenger bot direct to your listing without a super URL and seeing if that, so basically it's not keyword focused, and seeing whether that still helps with ranking?
Yeah, look, it does. What you want to be a little bit careful of is you don't want to send people directly straight to your listing page, because if they don't buy, that can, in fact, it will affect your conversion rate.
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
so you want to send them to a 2-step type process anyway. The only other thing you could do, which is a little bit sneaky, is you can send them to an add to cart. This is sort of like a much more advanced strategy. You can send them to an add to cart page, and there is evidence to say that even if they don't buy, if they actually add your product to their cart, you do get a little bit of ranking juice that way. There's a very advanced strategy that I do use, which I'll tell you about if you're interested.
Absolutely.
Which is a combination of all of those things.
Gotcha. And then one other question is, when you say 2-step, are you sending them from your messenger bot to a landing page and then through, or?
No. Using you can do that, but again, that creates friction. No, I send them to using a super URL, which takes them to there's different super URLs that you can use. So it's a field ASIN type URL where it takes them to an Amazon page, but it's not actually a product page. So they're in Amazon. It's showing your product,
like a search.
only your product using your keyword.
Gotcha.
So it's a two-step, but it is an on Amazon two-step.
Gotcha. Yeah, and one of the interesting things that I've done and also played with is trying to get and this is probably a little bit further on after getting your ranking up, but using those messenger bots to a landing page and then requesting the email address before unlocking the offer, and driving them to the page so that
you can get really tricky. There are a lot of very sophisticated and tricky things that you can do. What I found personally, and also with the people that I coach, the more tricky you get, the less people actually do it. It becomes sort of it's like, oh my God, that's too sophisticated. So I try and really dumb it down for me personally. It's okay, the fewer steps that not just my potential purchasers need to make, but the fewer steps that I have to make, the more likely I'm actually going to use the strategy and put into action. Because we've got so many other things that we're doing as Amazon sellers. It's like, okay, how many hours am I going to spend tricking this thing out and making it super sophisticated and fancy? Or am I just going to make it really easy so I can knock it out in an hour and get it done, right?
100%. Yeah.
And the thing is, in this strategy, because you're asking, I use a PayPal rather than a gift card. Because I'm asking for their PayPal, I'm getting their email address anyway.
100%. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. And you're doing that all in the messenger bot, and I think that's what's great about that.
I use it in the messenger bot. In the messenger bot that I use, the only external thing that I use is I link it up to a Google Sheet, and it just puts in their order number and their PayPal address. And then, of course, before you send in them their rebate, you want to just check that the order has actually been shipped. And you can do it yourself or get a VA to do that for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing.
There are ways to do that automatically, and then I know there are people that are selling a system where you can actually get it all done automatically, and there's an API to Amazon that checks it all. Again, me personally, the more things that you've got linked to it, the more things that can go wrong. And if you've got like one thing that's not working, you can spend hours and hours and hours trying to figure it out. So I just keep it really stupid and easy.
Fantastic. And I think that's the key thing here is whatever we've got so many things to do, and we're trying to test this or get this going during launch. The less friction we have and the easier it is to implement, go ahead and do it. Getting into landing pages, and as complicated as they get, you might get there down the road, but start with just a simple thing like a messenger bot, direct traffic, super easy to set up. And that's, if anything, it's just going to help your launch strategy. Even if it's not the major part of it and you get more from PPC, it's going to help you no matter what, because the algorithm likes outside traffic.
Exactly. And look, you want to also, you want to use it as part of an overall outside traffic. You might want to be using some influencers as well. You might want to be doing press releases. The number one thing though, you've got to remember is a chatbot or any other strategy can help you rank on page one, and absolutely. However, if your product does not belong on page one, in terms of if it doesn't convert, if the pricing is not right, then it doesn't matter what you do with outside traffic, you will not stay there, okay? Because the idea is your organic traffic from being on the page one has got to take over that volume of sales that you've seeded with your messenger bot or whatever other thing you think.
No, I'm really glad you brought that up, because the fundamental thing to help anybody who's relatively new to Amazon is to teach them how to create an amazing product that is differentiated, because if you don't get that right, everything else is going to get uphill.
You can spend thousands of dollars ranking your product, and it will rank for 3 days, and if there's no organic sales from it because it doesn't belong, it's too expensive or the listing is horrible, people not interested, then you may as well go back to the drawing board. It's not worth it. So you've really, the fundamentals of product creation, differentiation, and listing have absolutely got to be there before you do anything to rank.
Amazing. Regina, that is an amazing hot seat. I think you've given some really good, strong nuggets there for people listening. Maybe just a quick shout out for Women on Amazon and what's that about? And then we can end with a little bit more.
Sure. So Women on Amazon is something I started a little bit over a year ago. It's a free podcast and website where I amplify women's voices in the space. There's a lot of us, but there's not a lot of us out there talking about what we're doing. All of the gurus, they're out there screaming, are very testosterone driven. So this is sort of my way of giving back to the Amazon seller community. So you can find that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever. I also have a small private Facebook group, also Women on Amazon, that people can come and join. It's not exclusively for women, where so anybody is welcome to come and join. So that's a Facebook group. They're welcome to come, and we just share information. I do a little bit of personal coaching. Again, that tends to be more for advanced sellers rather than beginners. What else do you need to know? I've recently launched my rebate bot training and flow. If people are interested, they can hit me up for that as well.
And so to get there, what's the best way? Just to go to womenonamazon.com and they can access everything there, right?
They can go to the website. People can hit me up personally. I spend a lot of time on Facebook Messenger. So you can just find me, Regina Peterburgsky, friend me and send me a DM, as I said, or find me in the Facebook group. I'm the only one there is with my name, so you're not going to accidentally find another Regina Peterburgsky.
Amazing, perfect. Thank you so much. Maybe come on, tell us where you're at. I know you're not at the beach. Where are you?
Well, I'm actually, here we go. Do you want me to switch off my my background? Here we go. Hang on. I'm actually in a caravan.
Nice. That is amazing. Whereabouts? Because I know you're just taking a couple of days away to enjoy some kind of outing, right?
I'm having a little tree change. I'm in Olinda, which is a beautiful spot, national park in Victoria, about an hour from where I live. So that's where I actually am. And there's like a little Airbnb caravan that I like to go and hang out and get a bit of nature.
Perfect.
So every so often. So it's my sort of